Hawaii Creole is considered by some to be the native language of Hawaii. Created by our plantation ancestors, Hawaii Creole is often seen as a marker of local identity. It can be heard at such places as at work, at school, at your favorite neighborhood restaurant, or even on the bus. It is the language of the islands, where speaking local is being local.
Raise Hawaii on, I am the diamond in the rough from the land of Zion.
Yes, but not as heavy as like my dad, for instance. Like I would use Pidgin as sort of like a secondary language, or I use it when it's convenient for me or when I should put it into use. But it doesn't just come out all the time like it is from my dad. Like for instance, I would say for my dad, it's like his first language. For me, it's an acquired language or like a second language that I grew up with.
A teaching setting, I have to be professional. But then when I'm with my friends, you know, you get the whole how's it, chihu, nagain. And so it's just social setting depending on who you're talking with and where you are.
Bro, what you still doing? We go to Kain.
Random people sometimes, you know, you go surfing, you go, oh, gee, mean
I
wave.
think that it's probably how's it, like, you know, just casual greeting, because I use that on a frequent basis. And it's something I don't think about. It's something I don't make a conscious decision to say. I just say, hey, how's it going? You know, or how's it, what's up?
You got the professional that goes home and goes to visit his father, who's from Hilo. And you know, the father has spent his entire life in Hilo and speaks Pidgin. I mean, speaks the native language of Hilo. So he goes home and then he switches his speech pattern. Luckily, he has enough background and whatever to be able to do that. So is that any better or worse, you know, for having to make the switch over? I would say no. You know, I think you need to get the job done. You speak to the person that you're talking to. In other words, you have to, you know, my adage that it comes to mind is my church basketball coach that says that, you know, when you pass the ball, when you throw the ball, you have the responsibility to throw a ball that can be caught. You can't just whip the ball and expect that you know, your responsibility is over. You have to throw, and that person on the other side, you know, has to get a ball that he can catch. I think that language is the same way. I think that you speak to the person and you have a responsibility to present your thoughts and your speech in a manner that the person on the other side can pick up and understand, whether it be Pidgin, French, Japanese, whatever. You know, I think you have a shared responsibility to do that, and the person listening also has a responsibility. But
Usually when we're out partying, having a good time, and everybody's talking Pidgin, then it's pretty natural.
And I think like if I just met a person, even if they speak Pidgin to me, it's harder to speak in complete Pidgin. Like when I'm, for instance, there was this guy at Starbucks, or at the Starbucks I always frequent, and he speaks a lot of Pidgin, like always, all the time. And when I first started talking to him, like I didn't really use Pidgin at all, but eventually as I got to know him and we got more friendly, then I started using it a lot more. Not to the extent that he was speaking Pidgin, I think, but you know, a lot of my words and phrases came out, I guess.
When I'm coaching soccer, sometimes it'll come out. When I'm with other coworkers in a non-professional setting, so if we have like a non-official meeting, and then with other local people and other local guys, we talk a little bit like that, depending on the social situation. I guess the kids respond better, and it feels more relaxed as opposed to so uptight, and that's how the kids talk. So then it makes it easier on them, I guess, and I feel more comfortable talking to them like that. Like certain people respond more to yelling, other people respond more to like talking to them.
Right.
So some kids will respond, you know, more to maybe if I were to speak pidgin to them versus, or local, like use local language or lingo versus using, good morning, my name is Mr. blah 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 blah.
Who are local guys at my restaurant and they speak pidgin, I use pidgin as well because I think it makes them feel more comfortable, and like it kind of helps the communication process for me too. Like I think I can communicate with them better and in a more friendly fashion if I use pidgin while speaking to them.
Okay.
So other people who speak pidgin in general, I guess.
Before Japan, I was working at Starbucks in Kapolei, which is the west side, and you do frequently get people from Waianae, who generally all speak pidgin, most, and people ask me all the time if I'm local, because I do tend to speak more proper English than pidgin, and when people ask that, I would reply and saying, yes, I'm local, and then some pidgin.
Although when I first moved back, everyone said I sounded really howly, but now I'm pretty local again.
How did you feel about that when people were like, oh, you're
sad.
You were sad? You didn't want to be called Holly?
No. But it did sound different, probably.
Yeah. So after coming back, being away for a couple of years, coming back, people saying, oh, you sound Holly, so you kind of picked it up again.
It kind of just came out. I think after being here for so long, you just kind of get back into the normal, everyday talk without realizing it.
I just feel like, I don't know, it's just the words have more meaning. And not everybody understands it. And so, yeah. Because, for example, you know, the outsiders might not know what we're talking about. And nothing against, you know, others, but not from Hawaii, but it's just something we can claim and call ours.
When I'm trying to exert my local identity, because I would consider myself local. You know, I understand the local culture. I put my time into the local culture, or I invest myself into the local culture. I mean, and so when I'm put into any kind of situation where I would want to show that I'm local, that's when I would use pidgin.
Hawaii, I am the diamond.